Hello, welcome back to Will's World Reviews and more. So, here we are on day 13 of the World Cup 2014 in Brazil, and today we saw England's final game. And it's fair to say they went out with a whimper, didn't they? In the end, against Costa Rica, it was a 0-0, where both sides really didn't threaten the goal, to be honest. Sturridge played well. This new formation with the attacking players, Lallana and Barkley being in there. And I know a lot of criticism has been aimed at the defence in this tournament, but I think they played fairly well, this new lineup of Shaw. I think we did very well. I think he was probably man of the match for me. But Jones played well at right back, and Smalling and Cahill, didn't really have much to do, to be honest. They kind of commanded it. Lampard played well in possibly his last match as an international player and captained the side, and his service to the national team should not be underestimated. Some great goals he scored for us, and he's been a good player. So if he does decide to retire, then he does so with no shame at all. Over 100 caps, I think he's got now as well. And Wilshere played well. So yeah, it was an alright team performance, but we just couldn't nick a goal. And Costa Rica, to be honest, they were already through, so they really didn't. The only incentive they had was they knew a draw. At least a draw would guarantee them top spot of the group, and then of course they would play a lesser opponent, and they achieved that. So really, that was all that was to be said. Really, Campbell didn't really do much. So yeah, there's not much to say about that match. Really, to be honest, 0-0. The other match, of course, had a lot more riding on it, and that was Italy v Uruguay. It was quite a cagey affair, naturally, obviously. Each team knew that they needed a win, really, to go through. And in the end, it was probably decided by, three incidents, really. The Marchisio red card, so he started his tournament with a goal and ended it with a red card. And then, of course, Godin, the captain, who probably should have been sent off against England, got the goal. So I'm sure Italy are pleased about that. And, of course, we had Luis Suarez biting another player again. It was Chiellini, wasn't it? Yeah. So I haven't actually seen the footage of that. So whether he did or didn't, I'm assuming he did, because why would you make that up? And he just needs to get himself in check. Such a talented player, yet he's got these issues. So in the end, it finished 1-0 to Uruguay, which means they go through as runners-up in the group. And as my wife pointed out, they're the two teams that you probably wouldn't have thought would have qualified. Most people would have put Italy and England as the ones. So fair play to Costa Rica, especially. They did really well and they deserved their first place. And Uruguay, they could surprise a lot of people now they've gone through, but of course they have to play much more difficult opposition in theory. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. It could go either way. They could still be a deadly kind of opposition. So the evening matches featured Japan and Colombia, and Japan knew that pretty much they were out of it anyway. But their final score was 4-1 to Colombia, so it was a well and truly emphatic scoreline for them. I think basically Japan knew before the game that they had the chance of sneaking into that kind of space, that second spot, but it was very unlikely considering their goal difference, especially considering the goal difference of this match. And basically, they got off to a bad start. Cuadrado scored their penalty for Colombia. They did pull a goal back through Okazaki, but it was to no avail because 10 minutes later, Martinez got his first, and then he finished it off again later on with a nice finish in the 82nd minute, and then of course Rodriguez got an 89th minute goal to well and truly send Colombia through on a high, and it means they finished top of that group with 9 points. Again, not really what people would have expected from that group. I think it would have been a big surprise. And I think they've got a decent chance now of causing a bit of a stir. You wouldn't say they'd have the capabilities of winning it, but who'd have said that Greece would have won 2004 Euros, sorry. So yeah, you never know. As for the other match, it was between Greece and Ivory Coast, and of course there's a lot riding on this one. And what a game this was! I mean, it's only just finished, but what a game it was. Samaris, not Samaras, make sure you clear it up, because I thought it was. He came off the bench and scored to put Greece ahead, and they looked in fairly good control, but then Ivory Coast came back and scored through with that man Boney, and you thought it was going to be, that would have meant Ivory Coast were going through with the draw, and you thought that was going to be it, Ivory Coast going through, but then in the 90th minute, Samaras scored a penalty, and that takes Greece through. So well done, Greece, because I'm quite a big fan of Greece. That takes them through on 4 points. So massive difference between first and second there. Ivory Coast missing out by a point. But yeah, well done, Greece, getting in that goal and just making all the difference. And you can't really believe it, can you? Can't believe it. I think it was Samaras got challenged by D, yeah, and Samaras scores a penalty. So well done, Greece. That means they've given themselves a good chance. Again, they can do a lot and see how it goes. And Karagounis is their best player, commands that midfield. I'm glad he came back into the lineup today, and he's real their captain, and he's yeah, well played. So that's it, guys. So we know today we have Uruguay and Costa Rica going through, and we have Greece and Colombia. So thank you for watching. Keep subscribing, liking, and commenting. I'll be back tomorrow as we find out some more teams that go through. Until then, I will see you soon, and peace.